أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي وأفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وشاكرا وتوبة نصوحا رب يسر ولا تعسر رب تمم بالخير رب زدني علما وفهما وألحقنا بالصالحين اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع وقلب لا يخشع ودعاء لا يسمع وعمل لا يرفع ونفس لا تشبع رب يسر ولا تعسر رب تمم بالخير رب زدني علما وفهما وألحقنا بالصالحين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Respected brothers, very respected sisters and all our Jamaat and all the people who are watching us over the internet, thank you very much, Jazakumullah khair jaza, for joining us this evening at the Coburg Islamic Center on a public holiday evening where many of the people are enjoying a time together with their families, but you made it, alhamdulillah, to this place. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah into your learning, into our learning. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to leave the masjid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with lots of goodies, inshallah, with us tonight. We are going through the 54 faraid in Islam as enumerated by Imam Hassan al-Basri of the Tabi'een, great Imam. We are covering fard number 7, which is, where did I go? This one. To consume only halal foods and drinks, which is fard upon every Muslim to do so. We have brought all of our arguments towards the discussion of slaughtered animals, and last week we went through and explained to the best of my ability what I understand, what the ulama have said to us, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, whether it is permissible to eat from Ahl Kitab or not. We went and looked at the dalils, and what the rules and regulations pertaining to this, we went in detail. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us, inshallah ta'ala. I think the last slide was this. Although we are given permission to eat from Ahlul Kitab, in this country in particular, since eating halal food is one of the essential ingredients of becoming a pious Muslim, one of the attributes of a good Muslim is to avoid suspicious things, doubtful things. This is called wara', which is higher than taqwa itself. This is what you call perfect form of taqwa, if you like. So if you're not 100% happy in your heart, I recommend it to you that you should keep away from what the people in the supermarket eat, what the McDonald's offer you, what the KFC offer you, what others offer you. Keep away from it, because it is doubtful. They're not only just meat itself, but there are many other issues involved in it. The safest method for you to go and buy from a trusted Muslim butcher, or better still, you get the butcher or somebody who's a butcher qualified within the law, Australian law, within the health regulations. Go and slaughter for yourself, and inshallah consume that for yourself and for your children, inshallah ta'ala. This was the the last point we made. And I also promised you that inshallah I will allow you to ask questions today, because we started a little bit late, about 10 minutes late, because of our Maghrib issue. Inshallah ta'ala, if you have any questions, start writing the questions now, because I'm going to allow for about 10-15 minutes for the questioning today. So what I'll do, inshallah, I will not go back to this particular point of Ahlul Kitab slaughtering and what have you. This is a covered topic. This was really bothering me for many months. But inshallah, I have done a good job. Although some people may not be as convinced, which my job is not to convince anybody. My job is just to convey what our ulama say. Some of the ulama, even on a particular issue, they might have difference of opinion in their definitions, in their approach to the matter. So it is not my concern. But the people that I trust, they tell us, yes, what Ahl Kitab slaughtered is halal to you, and under certain conditions and circumstances, better yet for a true Muslim, a muttaqi Muslim, a pious Muslim, to avoid anything that is suspicious, of doubt. Keep away. If you want to maintain your sanity as far as Islam is concerned, inshallah. Oh. What's happening? The screen is burning. And we also looked at machine cut versus hand slaughter, electric shock. If one bismillah enough for 5,000 animals, if you're working in as a worker in a slaughterhouse. And we looked at the issues concerning chicken slaughter and cleansing process, and fish meat and cooking without cleaning. There are some methods of cooking, and we looked at the fish issues, and margarines, and the issue of additives in foodstuffs. We also looked at very briefly. And the last thing we looked at was cheese and rennet and pepsin within the cheeses. Cheese and rennet. Rennet is an enzyme that grows in the spleen of the animal. So if you want to make any form of cheese, you need to use this particular substance, which is like an emulsifier, which curdles the meat and turns into, it's a culture, turns into cheese. This is a process. There are many methods of doing it. And if you're using a milk taken from the cow, it is best to use the cow's rennet. If you're using the goat milk, it's better to use the goat's rennet. That's how it works. And I've never heard until now if anybody makes a cheese out of pig's milk. Never heard of. The ulama, my resources, they say this rennet is an enzyme that grows, not part of the animal, but it is a separate entity within the spleen of the animal. Therefore, the rennet is halal. But some of the scholars, they say, because it lives in the spleen and could be considered part of the animal, therefore stick to vegetable rennet. But the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the practice of the companions and subsequent generations, including our ulama for generations upon generations, until our period, they have consumed cheese made by the Greeks, the Bulgarians, the Europeans, the people of Ahlul Kitab who were Christians, and they were the experts in this field. And the halloumi cheese and all that, they came from other places. So they ate, because they would regard this part of the ta'am of Ahlul Kitab, wa ta'amul ladhina utul kitaba hillul lakum. That's their interpretation. I have never heard this argument of rennet until I came to Australia. And this is a new concept, going back maybe 20 years or so. There are some Muslims whose job is to make the life of other Muslims very difficult by finding every possible foodstuff additives, and they just want to make it haram for people. And at one stage I asked the Mufti Sahib, who was Mufti, the second Imam here, who was my Shaykh in fiqh. His answer was, until a thing is made clear to be haram, until there is clear evidence that something is haram, it doesn't make a doubtful thing haram. For example, he said, if you're a chemical engineer, if you are an engineer of some sort, food engineer, and your job is to find out what goes into additives, and you have found out one particular substance to be haram, which requires a 4-year degree at least to find out in chemistry and what have you, then he says this becomes haram to you, but not to everybody else, because not everybody is in the same level. But are you obliged, is it obligatory for you to tell people about this issue? He says no. Unless you have a close family member or something, we can explain to them this particular substance. So what I usually say, 471, that majority of the people are so afraid of at one stage. There has been what they call halal food forums and halal food emporium, some what they call conferences recently. And our respected brother Hussam Dannawi, I don't know whether he's here or not, Halal Meat Butcher of Medina, he attends to these quite often. And he says 471 in Australia as an emulsifier is vegetable based. It is not animal based. Maybe the ones that comes from Europe, might E471 is maybe animal based. Maybe animal based. Therefore, if you want to avoid 471s, avoid everything. Because you won't be able to eat any ice cream. Even in certain breads you can see 471. But if it's produced in Australia, then 471, he says, I am 100% sure it is halal. This is somebody that I trust in this regard, 471. Also, if the food items or the margarines, whatever it is, using animal fat in it, it is better to avoid this particular additive also, because you do not know what kind of animal it is. But brother Ahlul Kitab, okay, I said avoid. I didn't say it's haram. I said avoid. Keep away from it. You don't know what kind of animal it is. Could be lard, could be pig, could be monkey, could be a donkey. You never know. So it's better to avoid it. Another thing to avoid is perhaps gelatine. When you see the word gelatine, if it hasn't got the word halal in front of it, and if it does not originate from a Muslim country, and it has some halal stamp on it of some kind, it's better to avoid. Especially confectionaries, the sweets. And there was a furphy on one stage, amongst the Muslim youth in particular, that particular company they buy from Coles is halal. They like the snakes, they like the jelly beans, and they like the others. Or some brother said that it was halal, they rang the company and find out. Which does not make it halal. Because it has gelatin in it. Oh, it's a halal gelatin, but the company doesn't write it. I've never heard, I've never seen. We should, as Muslims, one of perhaps the function of the Islamic Council of Victoria or the Australian Islamic Federation of Islamic Councils, or whatever the bodies who deal with foodstuffs items, they should organize a particular organization where they really pay attention to these details. And they should make some press releases every now and then for the Muslim communities for them to know who's halal and who's not. This has been done in UK, this has been done in South Africa very successfully. Very successfully. I received their, emails from South Africa. They declare this company has changed their formula and they put haram substance, no more halal. We withdraw our support. And the company go bust. Because the majority of the customers are Muslims. And Muslims are over 600,000 people in Australia. If Muslims are serious Muslims and they really avoid haram, the food substances, these companies will oblige. Can't you see Nestle and other companies at streets or other companies, they're putting halal gelatin next to it? Because gelatin is a gelatin. Gelatin comes from animals, whatever the way it is done. And they put halal because they know that customers from Malaysia, customers in somewhere else, Muslims have to look for halal. Therefore, we should lobby Muslim organizations. Large Muslim bodies should organize themselves and lobby the companies, and we should push our Muslim organizations to lobby on our behalf so that we, inshallah ta'ala, have proper food. No, otherwise, it becomes so difficult for every single Muslim individual to go to supermarket and do a shopping that normally takes 10 minutes and finish your shopping in 3.5 hours. Because you need to go through every single ingredient to find out what's going on. And there are some Muslims who spread constant updated of ingredients list, making sure that everybody eats halal. And you have to charge and you have to subscribe. They're making money out of this. This is ridiculous. We need to be simple. We need to be straightforward. We need to be intelligent about this. Yes, suspicion we avoid. Best still try to eat organic foods. Go and grow your vegetables in the garden yourself. And go and buy from organic food shops. No additives. If you're worried about the chickens who are brought up in the cages and the eggs laid in the eggs, go and eat it, buy it from free range or something else, organic. Better still. But we cannot make life hard for Muslims, such manner that I know some people, they have lots of psychological problems because of this issue. And this waswasa, it really causes a great problem for many Muslims. So we need to follow qualified judgment, qualified fatwa in this regard. And our elders, our ulama, as scholars, have a job to do, especially for the Muslims who live in Australia or the Western countries. Otherwise, everybody says something, it causes more confusion than clarity. It causes more problems than solutions. And the best is to live like a hermit, and don't eat anything at all. Be a vegetarian. Well, I'm a vegetarian. Why I'm forced to become a vegetarian? That doesn't happen. Okay? So we need to be careful, inshallah ta'ala. Now, I'm not going to come back to this issue again. If you have any issues, write it down. And I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. I want to go through with the topic from our book, the explanation of the 54 faraid. And this is in particular concerning further points on ikhtiyari zakat. We have mentioned earlier there are two methods of slaughter in Islam. One is called ikhtiyari zakat, when you have the freedom, the time, ability and the tools, and the animal is there, you use your own discretion to properly slaughter the animal. We went through this. Ikhtiyari zakat as opposed to ittirari zakat, meaning when you're compelled to kill the animal, otherwise the animal is dying, and the animal is going to be wasted. Therefore, there are the rules and regulations about under compulsion, the slaughter. So there are certain makruh things, prohibitively disliked things when you are slaughtering an animal. We need to be gentle with the animal. We need to be kind to the animal. When we're killing the animal, we make sure that the animal suffers the least pain, if at all. If at all. So when you are using a blunt knife, when you slaughter, you're causing harm to the animal. This is makruh to do so. So you have to make sure that your knife is absolutely sharp. And we went through the explanation, we explained how to slaughter and what to slaughter and what have you. We're not looking at this, we're just looking at the macro points. To sharpen the knife before the eyes of the animal or the chicken, whilst the animal tied down and waiting on the floor and looking at you on the floor, it's makruh to do so. You should prepare your knives elsewhere. Oh, I'm going to get you in a minute. This is not on. You keep it away and don't even show the knives to the animals. And I've been to, in Muslim countries, some Muslim countries, slaughterhouses, I swear, I've never seen such a slaughter in the negative sense. None of these rules apply. They are butchers in the negative connotation of the word. They are disgusting. No adab. None of these rules apply. From one feces to one blood to one najis to another. They just go and do slaughter. Nothing. And how that thing becomes halal, I have no idea. The guy is a Muslim butcher. Another makruh thing is when you're slaughtering the animal, you quickly do it. Remember, you need to cut the jugular vein and the food pipe and the air pipe. 3 things. 4 things, yes. Both sides, jugular veins. Making sure that you don't remove the not umbilical cord, what's the cord? At the spinal cord. Umbilical cord is in the tummy. You don't remove the head immediately, because as soon as you touch it, the animal dies. The blood circulation stops, everything just freezes, because the brain is not functioning anymore. So to remove the head quickly is makruh to do so. You need to make sure that blood completely comes out. Animal, slowly, when the blood goes out, faints and goes and dies, and bye-bye, go to the white light. The animal dies. Not a problem. To remove the animal's head immediately in one blow is makruh to do so. To skin, remove the feathers of the animal in the case of chicken, before the animal or the chicken expires or dies, is also makruh to do so. What's your ajala? Al-ajalatu min ash-shaytan. What's your hurry? Oh, but people are waiting in the queue, but the animal's still kicking. No, not allowed to. Respect, because this is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is dhabiha. This is halal slaughtered animal for you. So you need to respect. Let the animal die. We went through and explained how to tie the animal, and one leg has to be free, and the blood has to gush out. You have to turn the animal towards Qibla. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, very sharp knife. We did everything. So this is in the case of, removing, beginning to skin the animal, live, they're still dying, or the chicken still going, blood is gushing out, you try to pull the feathers out. Not a good idea. What if you about to slaughter an animal in front of you, either a very smart animal, pretending to be dead, or fainted, or just sick animal maybe. There is something wrong and you want to slaughter the animal before it dies. How do you ascertain, how do you determine that animal is dead or alive? The ulama, fuqaha, the ones who observed and written all the rules, what ifs, all the hypotheticals, all the permutations and combinations of a problem, they give us the answer. There are signs of life of an animal, they say. When you slaughter, if the blood gushes out from the jugular vein, that's a sign that animal is alive. Because dead animal's blood will not gush out. This is really going out. Secondly, the animal closes his eyes, opens and closes his eyes. You can see that animal still, there is some life in the eyes. Thirdly, animal pulls its leg towards itself. Not the other way around, but towards itself. It's just pushing the leg, the free leg, towards itself. It says this is also a sign that the animal is still alive. Could be minimum life, 5% battery, but still, nonetheless, alive. The opposite of these are the indications that the animal is not alive. If the blood is not gushing out, just blood is just going, just a little spurts of blood coming out, this animal is dead. The eyes are not shutting, just in one point looking at it, the animal is dead. Because when the knife cuts the animal, if the animal is playing up, it starts, because it's not a time to play up. You can't act dead. Animal's not that smart. And thirdly, the feet usually, when the knife hits, it doesn't move. That means that animal is absolutely dead. What if the animal that you found being attacked by a vicious animal of prey, a leopard, a bear, a wolf? If usually animals of those animals of prey like wolves and leopards and tigers and what have you, they go for the neck. They go for the jugular vein. If you see that jugular vein is ripped open and the blood is gushing out, but the animal went because they shot the animal or something and they heard the thing on what gun? Shotgun, and the animal was scared and ran away, and you went, the animal's still alive. But it has been, grabbed from here and opened up in this section here where the jugular vein is. And the pipe is also opened. The ulama say you can't eat this animal. Because he knows where the life ends, the actual point, and therefore this is not done according to the Sharia, and it is regarded as an animal that has torn it apart. So you cannot make that dhabiha. You cannot use ittirari. That's it, he's still alive. Let me say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar and slaughter an animal. You cannot. It's been already gone. How about a baby animal? That is found in the womb of the slaughtered animal. Like there's a cow, a big fat cow, and you slaughtered, and there's a calf that comes out. And moving, live. Eyes, still umbilical cord is connected to the mother, but the calf is there. According to Sharia, if the calf is alive, you can slaughter and you can eat it. This is halal. But if the calf is dead, you can't eat this. You have to chuck this away with the mother. Ittirari zakat, the non-optional slaughter, we have mentioned before, happens under very rare conditions. These are exceptional circumstances. One is the animal is trapped in such manner that it's impossible to reach to its head. The only thing standing out is the backside. Big cow fell into, or maybe trapped in between two walls or some area. It could happen in the farm. Or two rocks, it fell somehow and it can't move. And if you don't slaughter this animal, the animal is going to die. And it's going to be all haram. You won't be able to eat. Under that circumstances, you can do this compelling, under the compulsion zakat. How we're going to do this? We're going to talk about it in a minute. Another circumstances, the animal has fallen into a well or a lake, doesn't know how to swim. Okay? And the water is, the animal's going to die. And you're going to waste that beautiful animal. Another perhaps is no other way of slaughtering properly. Again, because of maybe these two reasons. Or maybe other circumstances, we don't know. That under that circumstances, you're allowed to resort to another form of zakat, slaughtering. Somehow you need to poke the knife, sharp knife, or sword, or something, at an appropriate place within the body of the animal, where the blood still comes out. But brother, you haven't used the proper method and the 3 pipes and 2 pipes, and this is an exceptional case. I've never seen this done, never heard of this done. But Muslims, by majority, they all live in rural areas. They are farmers. Many in the Muslim world. And until recently, Muslims began to move to big cities and dwell in urban areas. But still, Muslims live with animals. And if you have animals, by the hundreds, it is possible that your animals will be trapped in such manner. From Malaysia to Indonesia to Middle East to Turkey to Egypt, anywhere it is possible. Therefore, you need to know the ahkam in this regard also. Since we are using this knowledge just for our own interest, we will never probably use it unless we ever leave Australia and go back to some other country and live in the rural areas and we remember the dars and it says, okay, this is an ittirari zakat and we can slaughter animal. Maybe it's a useful information. Otherwise, it's an absolutely useless information to you. Now, I want to look at another issue that is called hunting. Because in the olden days, hunting was one of the ways in which you access to protein from animals. That is meat. You don't go to a butcher. Where do you find a butcher in the middle of the village? in the middle of the rural area. You hunt. And there are plenty, dime a dozen. And how do you hunt? What do you hunt? There are rules and regulations in Islam. Very important. And if you did not know how to do hunting, especially in this day and age, some of our brothers go for hunting. Boar hunting, they call it. Pig hunting, goat hunting, venison hunting, the deer hunting. Or some brothers stick to iPhone application of 3D hunting and they just shoot. Besides the point, you don't have to know any halal hunting rules for that one. But for the real stuff, you need to know the ahkam. So inshallah ta'ala, I want to go through very briefly what is permissible and what you have to do. Hunting is done on your own, first option. Second option, with the aid of animal. This could be a dog, hunting dog, specially trained dog, who does not eat the animal, who goes and grabs the animal and brings it and leaves it in front of you. 100%. And the Islamic law is so detailed in this regard, you say, subhanAllah, this is a dog training manual almost. There are rules and regulations about the saliva of the dog. Shafi school regards it absolutely as najis. So if the animal's skin is touched, what do? The meat is not touched. There are rules and regulations. So you need to know the ahkam, the rulings of what qualifies as a hunting dog. And when does a hunting dog disqualify? You can also use, they say, a leopard. Train a leopard. In the olden days, they used to train leopards for hunting. They go to hunt with you. They go and bring the animal and put it in front of you. They don't eat it. Or the birds, hawks for example. In Arabia, they used to train hawks to go and grab the what you have hunted with your arrow or with your weapon, and they go and bring the animal and leave it in front of you. Your hunt. These are possible, 4 possibilities: a hawk, leopard, dog, and yourself. Not combination of all, but you will have one of them with you. Otherwise, dog will eat the leopard eat with the other, so something else, will be in trouble. Okay? The animals that we slaughter are, again, has to be edible animals that we went through the list before. Non-edible animals are not permissible to hunt except for training purposes. You do not just go and, kill all the possible foxes. Why are you killing the fox? What did the fox do to you? Unless it is causing a trouble within your farm, within your environment, it's causing harm to you. But if you go to his territory and start, I want to kill whole foxes. What for? Fox is a fox, living, not causing any harm to you. So you need to eat that animal in the first place. The only animal that you're allowed to hunt is the pig for sports and recreation purposes. But you cannot eat, you cannot touch, you cannot benefit from anything from the pig. Anything from the pig. Other animals, which are non-edible animals, the ulama say you can use their skins. For example, if you have what you call shot with your shotgun, a tiger. The skin, after going through a certain process, becomes halal. And even, another question, even the non-halal slaughtered animal, slaughtered by a kafir, Hindu, Buddhist, the skin of a sheep, skin of a cow, after goes through a particular process of cleansing, becomes tahir. But brother, it was not slaughtered halal. It doesn't matter. Meat is haram. Not the skin of the animal, of the cow or the sheep is haram. But the pig itself, li'aynihi, everything of it is haram. Everything of it. Some unfortunate Muslims fell into the trap of the Westerners. When they left the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah punished them by using toothbrushes made out of bristles. They didn't even know. Bristles are specific hairs of the pig used as a toothbrush, and but they brush their teeth because it was durable. They didn't even know. They bought it and used it during the colonial times and few other times until plastic was invented and we had plastic toothbrushes. Because Muslims stopped using the miswak, the tree that Sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So anything of the pig you cannot use. Also, if you were hunting elephants for some reason or another, ulama say the skin of the elephant is also najis. Skin of the elephant is also najis. That's why if you go to Thailand ever, don't go for the elephant ride. Otherwise you have to make a full ghusl when you come back. It's absolutely filthy, najis. But we wash it with Ajax every day. Doesn't matter. Sharia regards the skin of an elephant as najis. And the shed skin of the snake is also regarded as najis. While the skin on the animal, the snake, is not najis. You can touch the snake, not a problem. But if the snake has shed its skin and put in the corner, it's got a new skin. Every season or every how many months they shed their skin, and that skin is regarded as najis, according to our Sharia. I don't want to go into much of a detail of hunting, because hunting is a huge area. None of us do hunt, but if you ever go to a hunting, make sure that you have a license for your shotgun, and you go and hunt in a place, it is not a private property. If it's a private property, you must get permission. And the animal that you're going to shoot has to be one of the animals that is edible by Sharia, and it does not belong to anybody, doesn't belong to a particular farm or anybody as such. It is a free roaming wild animal, and it is within the law. Don't do anything silly. If you do this, police will confiscate your weapon as well as fine you. If under certain circumstances, will put into jail. Yes, brother.
What about stuffing the animal or hanging it?
Not allowed. No stuffing of animals, no hanging, no what do you call deer's head, the what do you call timsah, what's the other one? Crocodile's head. No other. This is all non-Muslim practices. We eat, we respect. Say Bismillah and eat. I'm going to put the head there. He's going to look at me every day. Not a good idea. Even if you killed a pork, a pig, or a boar, wild boar, you do not have legal rights to own it. If you shot a deer, that's yours. Clear, alhamdulillah, it's wild goat is yours, halal to you. But if you shoot a pig, you don't have the ownership because haram. Khalas. And as I told you before, to shoot a pig or boar, wild boar, not a pig in a farm, let me shoot the pig, no. I'm talking about in the wilderness, those wild boars with those big, what do you call? Husks. If you were to shoot them, this is done for sports and just shooting practice. Otherwise, you do not have ownership, or you don't go, let me see, I've got one other one. Oh, let me grab it, take a photo with it. This is all not allowed. And all the other animals, we can benefit from their skin, except the ones I have explained to you. My respected brother Hakan says it is time for Isha. Otherwise we're going to miss Isha. Theirs is still over so quickly. Subhanallah. Any questions? I want to stop here. There are rules for the hunter, rules for the prey. There are 5 each. So if you're into hunting games, you need to know the ahkam. because Islam regulates everything in our lives. If you're interested, I can go through these, but I think I should go through this and finish this very quickly. Very simple. Adhan is about to be called or cold? Inshallah ta'ala, even if you slaughtered the animal, halal animal, to be edible animal, the following things you're not allowed to eat. This is tahrim and makruh, close to haram. Some of the ulama will even say it's haram. You don't eat the following items from the mashallah, bismillah, Allahu Akbar animal that you have just slaughtered. Halal, qurban, in Eid al-Adha. So you need to be very clear. The blood outside the animal, not within the meat, within the body, is regarded as najis and it is haram to consume. The gallbladder, that is the little sac of poison attached to the liver. It regulates certain things in the body and it is haram to eat so. As soon as the butcher knows, before he gives you the offal, the liver, he just removes it and just chucks it away because you can't eat this. It's unhealthy. Bladder, where the urine of the animal is accumulated, that particular sac, you're not allowed to eat. The male organ or the female organ of the animal, you're not allowed to eat. Including the testes of the male, you cannot eat. Oh, it's a delicacy in my country. We eat it, I saw it in the television, little round things in a curry, in a hurry. No, you can't have those. Not allowed to. Membranes between two different organs usually have very thin layers that see through almost. Those things you don't eat. And the final part, the ending part, the rectum of the animal is also not allowed to eat. How about the chicken, bro? That's the tastiest part. Not allowed to eat. So before you cook the chicken, my sisters, remove that part before you even put it into your oven. So something for you to think about. جزاكم الله خير الجزاء وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. May Allah forgive me if I said anything wrong. All the wrongness and the shortcomings are from me, and everything that is beautiful is from Islam, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase our beneficial knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us aware Muslims. Make us Muslims who are God-fearing, muttaqi, ahlul taqwa. Muslims who are switched on. Muslims who know what they are practicing. Muslims of fiqh, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to pass from this world in a state of iman. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us neighbors to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There was a question from the